Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
I'll just edit that part out. And welcome to episode where we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the streaming wars.
Yes.
Because we just watched two things, and I didn't want to even deal with it, and now I'm like, shit, I'm not buying another service. Because, fuck.
Are we getting into it now or
No,
what?
we'll get into it in a minute. We got a couple other things we want to talk about. One thing that we do want to talk about first, and we'll probably talk about this over the next couple of videos and maybe a week or so, we're moving. So our regularity is going to be hit and miss as we move down the street to a bigger house but smaller piece of land.
Yes, much
smaller
piece of land. But we will have a whole room dedicated to the studio, and then we can get a green screen, which we've been talking about, and sit at a real table. And be like
that will be the official part start of phase 2. We will be doing some podcast style things, and we'll still do videos here on YouTube. They'll be limited to like 12, 15 minutes. There'll be like specific news things or trailer reactions, movie reviews, that kind of thing.
Right.
TV show reviews, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll do, we'll set up something probably on Anchor FM and do like podcast style, maybe once a week and stuff.
Yep.
A top 10 show once a month and that kind of ideas. So that will be phase 2 once we move. Hopefully sometime soon.
Next month and a half, depending on how. We have some remodeling to do in the new place, so we got to get that done.
Timing's a little weird, so we'll get all of that. So they announced, AMC let it leak today that Avengers Endgame is going to be 3 hours and 20 minutes. 3 hours and 2 minutes, sorry.
Yes.
And if you're not currently training your bladder to go 3 hours... you
better get on that.
You need to get on that. You got about 3 weeks. No one is surprised. The Russos have said they had a 4.5 hour cut. So
right, they needed to whittle it down. But I mean, I personally don't care.
We talked about it via text today. It could be 6 hours as long as there's a intermission in the middle. It could be 6 hours. I don't care.
Right, just tell us the story. We want to see it.
Yeah. We are Lord of the Rings extended edition people.
Yes.
The theatrical cuts, we understand why they're there, but the extended cuts are way better.
Yeah, and there's more than just Lord of the Rings, right? The Kingdom, like we don't even watch the regular
Kingdom of Heaven.
The Kingdom of Heaven, sorry.
We
don't even watch the regular theatrical version.
This is gonna
anymore.
be dumb. The A-Team director's cut is way better than the actual. If actually they released that one instead of the one they actually put out, that movie probably would have done a whole lot better than it actually did.
Yeah,
it still made like $360 million. But I'm not surprised. They have a lot of story to cover, and so it's been a big deal about everybody's been talking about it and stuff.
How long was the last one? Do you remember?
247 or something like that.
Not a whole lot longer. And this is going to be the end of the Infinity Saga. Are they calling it the Infinity or the Adventure?
The Infinity Saga.
Okay.
It will be the official end of that, and then it'll be also the end of Phase 3, and Phase 4 will start with Homecoming moving forward.
Right.
And so, and back to we don't know what's going to happen after Homecoming. There's rumors of all kinds of different things, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we do know one we'll talk about. Well, we talked about it last week, I guess. James Gunn.
Yeah. We know Guardians 3 is coming.
Yeah.
We know that Black Widow is coming. That looks like they're going to hire Emma Watson to be like Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow's partner and stuff.
Okay, so that's a movie, not a Netflix thing?
No, it's going to be a movie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's...
And then Black Panther, right? They're writing or whatever on that.
But there's no, we know, like, Doctor Strange is coming, and we'll probably get another Thor, Ragnarok kind of feeling thing and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And now they have all these new toys with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
And Deadpool.
Deadpool. They did say that Deadpool Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is the only known character that's transferring over as of right now. So the Dark
but they'll
Phoenix,
probably do X-Men, just not necessarily James McAvoy.
Right.
Michael
Now
Fassbender.
they're not saying for sure that they're all out, but as of right now, the only one that's coming over is Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
Okay.
Which is not a surprise, but I would like to see some of those characters come over and
yeah, it might be time to let the X-Men
rest,
especially the current one. Now, if they want to go do like Gambit and some of those,
they are talking about they're already on the search for a new Wolverine, which gives me the idea that they're going to have Wolverine be the face of the franchise going forward. If they're already kind of working on that.
I mean, they could do Beast. He's not in the X-Men movies too much, right? You don't have
as Beast. No, you don't have a ton of origin. Colt, but
yeah, I would like to see a Gambit movie, and I know that there's a ton of other. I mean, I used to watch cartoons when I was a kid, but I'm not super up on my X-Men. But I know that there's a ton of other characters that they could.
And they have the Fantastic Four, which is what everybody's wanting. They just brought the comic back. They want Krasinski and Emma. Get Out. Not Get Out. Quiet
Place. John Krasinski.
Yeah.
And Emily Blunt.
Yes, to have them be the face of the new Fantastic Four and move forward. Have him be
the doctor guy.
Really sorry, guys. There's been a lot of stuff going through our head, so we're just gonna move on to the stuff that we actually know what we're talking about. Reed Richards, Jesus Christ.
We'll see if we actually know
and
about
Sue Storm.
Okay.
As an older, kind of thing. They kind of tease the Avengers building being moved out of, so they can introduce it as Oscorp buying the building, which means you get the Green Goblin and you get all that within the universe of Spider-Man, or you have it as the Baxter building, which is the home of the Richards and of the Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay.
That's the research building and stuff like that. So it gets very complicated.
So many places to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. This is nothing we wanted to talk about today, but we're just going to talk about Bill and Ted 3, which I'm super excited about, is actually happening. They have a release date.
It's happening, people.
And so Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves did a video from the Hollywood Bowl saying we're hoping to start filming here soon. They're just kind of waiting for a couple things to clear. And then it will be out the 21st of August in 2020. So pretty quick turnaround on it.
Yep. Well, it's not like there's going to be a ton of CGI or anything.
And I'm sure it's not a huge budget and stuff either, too. But
and this was supposed to be like about their kids?
So no, this is actually the story as it was written is they haven't. So at the.
Oh, they haven't.
I have the lore of like Bill and Ted down because I love these movies, but they haven't written the perfect song as that saves the world and the universe and all kind of comes together that they talk about in the post credits with all the news articles and stuff like that. And they play a show on the moon and they do all this stuff and whatever. And Death puts out a solo album and then comes back and all that stuff. But this is it's called Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music, essentially is what the working title is.
They grew up and became adults.
And they have kids and they got marriages that they're wondering what's going on, but they still haven't written the perfect song. And Death is actually the guy who plays Death in Bogus Journey is actually coming back as Death to play him and stuff. And so it's I'm super excited about this movie. It's so dumb. Bill and Ted Day is coming up in July too, so we might be doing a mini movie marathon. It's only 2 movies, but we'll have to do something.
Yay.
Just stop rolling your eyes at me.
Yay!
Box office this weekend was goddamn ridiculous. Us was projected. Jordan Peele's Us was projected to make maybe 30, 35, possibly at best $40 million. It made 70. it's everybody says it's directed beautifully, the acting is beautiful, it's shot so well, the story's kind of just okay.
Oh.
And but still scary and good social commentary going on.
Yeah.
But I still kind of I want to see it, but I might have to wait till it comes out. I watch it at home with the lights on or something
In the middle of the day.
through my hands and stuff.
Tell you, then you watch a good cartoon
Or Captain America
Disney,
or something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, so it kicks some ass.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to have some legs here for a little bit because it doesn't get anything. Well, Dumbo's this weekend. I'll shut up. Dumbo's going to make all the money this weekend.
See, we can go see Us as like a matinee, and then we'll go see Dumbo, and you'll be all good.
I would totally be down with all of that except Ultras this weekend.
We're seeing Dumbo.
And we are going to see Dumbo.
Okay.
Ultras this weekend, and we have to start packing. Back to the first news story. And Captain Marvel, in its third week, made $34 million. It's at $320 domestically. 911 million worldwide.
Almost a billion.
In 3 weeks. It's going to get $1 billion. It might end up at like 1.3, 1.4, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I would totally go see it again. Is it the best of the Marvel movies? No. Is it in the middle of the road? Maybe a little bit ahead of the middle of the road.
Yeah.
But when the bar is set way up high and you have one that comes at the bar, everybody's like, well, it's not as good as Infinity War or Black Panther or Civil War. I'm like, well, okay, these were like in Oscar conversation movies,
right,
and this is really good and a lot of fun, and Brie Larson's like amazing, and
I'd put it. I mean, I kind of almost think it's one of the better of the origin movies.
Yeah, better than the Thor ones for sure.
Yeah,
and I like Captain America, the first Avenger one.
The first Captain America, everybody thought was a really good origin.
Yeah.
The Iron Man, the first one, it was the first one, so they were still trying to figure out what they were doing. But I would put it just under maybe Thor Ragnarok, maybe right around.
I think I did a list.
Guardians 1.
Yeah,
area.
I think I did a list right after the week after it came out, and I did my whole list of Marvel movies in order and
Nerd.
as they are now. I do it with Star Wars every month and a half. I sit down and reorganize my Star Wars list because I'm that guy. After 15 seasons, Supernatural is mercifully coming to an end. I say mercifully because I got the first 6 seasons done, and that 6th season was rough. After as good as it was for first 5 seasons. And it's one of those shows that's had like Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
It's a very simple make of a show. You can work on the same concepts over and over again, just kind of repackage them and stuff like that.
But it's, I mean, honestly, you're telling the same-ish story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Buffy kind of got towards the end. It's like, and now there's a vampire.
I'm really looking forward to like the new version of Buffy that they're gonna do.
Yeah.
But and that was the one thing about Doctor Who that we love so much is it's a show that's been on for 50 plus years at this point in time. But every 3 to 5 years, they just reset the whole system.
Yeah, you get a new doctor and a new showrunner, and so a new feel and new bad guys, but still some of the old bad guys.
But it still has the same feel as the show itself. And and as much as I'm happy for everybody who's worked on that show, even in the video, Jensen, Misha, and Jared were all like, we're sad to see it go, but it's time.
Yeah.
And they kind of hinted at this last year at San Diego Comic-Con that it was time for them to go. But as much as I'm sad to see it go and the fandom had a hissy fit because somebody moved their cheese, I'm actually really looking forward to what these guys can do outside of the show.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because they're going to have a moment of adjustment where they are trying to be people are trying to typecast them into other supernatural-esque kind of
I would
roles.
like to see both. I'd like to see Jared or Jensen go into. He's got a brewery that he's part of. It's called Family Business, and he's one of the owners and stuff. But I would like to see him do like a full-on like superhero show. He dressed up as Nightwing, and like looks like the comic.
Oh, wow.
It looks amazing. And he like 2 months ago, reposted those pictures online, and just like, this was a lot of fun. Maybe I should do it again sometime soon. And so,
It'd be cool to see him do some movies, maybe?
like a movie, like some of the stuff that they're kind of going in the DC universe going forward, but also they have DC app, the DC Universe app, the TV shows and stuff they're doing on there.
Right.
And also, sometimes people just need to flex their wings and flex their muscles in some other direction than what they've been doing for the last 15 years. And I know that's kind of what Stephen Amell has been talking about too. And so
yeah,
Arrow,
I mean,
it's only 8 seasons. Oh, quitter.
They'll step away for a while and maybe do something else, but then if that's what they want to do, but they always come back.
Yeah. We gotta go back. We
back.
did 2 trailer reactions last week. One was Stranger Things 3. We finally got the Stranger Things 3 trailer. All kinds of tidbits. Amazing. Ready to go. I will link it at the end of the show here. We also did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 9th film from Quentin Tarantino. Yes, that's how you have to say the name. The longest
because we're
title
counting
ever.
Down now.
Yeah, we are.
No, don't get to 12, right?
I think it said 12, yeah. So I will tag both of those at the end of this episode. Let's get into this.
Speaking of stepping away and doing something different, there's all these opportunities now.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this with, at some point in time in the future, cable will go away. The new cable will be buying individual streaming services.
Network TV will go away. Yeah, and you will buy CBS or TNT.
Right, and they already, you already have CBS All Access. You already have FXX, whatever it's called.
After Dark.
Yeah. Actually, I would get FXX After Dark, because then they can actually go the full on some shows.
Yeah.
But there's already kind of this network TV kind of leaning that way, and then we have Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and the DC Universe, and Disney Plus is coming, which it's what's going to happen. And then today, Apple decided to throw their hat in the ring out of the blue. Now, it's not really out of the blue, but it was out of the blue for some people, because I heard mentions of Apple talking about jumping in.
Yeah, I had heard that they were planning on it, but it was kind of a while ago, and then you didn't hear anything, which should be an indicator that something's up, but I just don't care enough about Apple to
we're not
keep
Apple,
up on that.
We're not an Apple house. Apple's the devil. Maybe not the devil.
Well, we do listen to iTunes sometimes, but we
have Spotify now. It's way better.
We are an Android house.
We are an Android house. Just to be open book that we are. But they did this big in the Steve Jobs Theater. They did this big presentation today of what Apple is doing, and I watched some of it earlier. Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, came out and talked about what they're doing with this Apple Plus TV, and he doesn't have the same charisma that Steve did.
No,
and Steve was very monotonely talked, but there was a charisma and an aura and stuff like that. So you can get excited about having a phone with one button on it, because that makes it, and one plug for your headphones and your charger. But what they came out and said today is they're going to do a streaming service along with a bunch of other things that we're going to get into too. It's going to do its own lineup of films and TV shows that are available on the streaming service itself. It's also working with existing streaming services such as HBO, Starz, and Showtime to flesh out what's available there and what they can bring in, kind of thing, with their programming and stuff. It will be a pay ad-free. I'm going to try this again. It is a paid ad-free video with its own TV show and whatever, called Apple TV Plus, and will come out this fall. And there's no word on what the price is just yet.
I wonder if they're gonna possibly stream it through iTunes as another venue, like, because you already pay. iTunes is already all set up to you. Pay for music, you pay for audiobooks, you pay for movies,
right?
Pay for TV shows. You can do all that. I mean, obviously, they're gonna have to figure out the Fire Stick, Roku, TV end of it, because you don't have a iTunes app
unless you have an Apple TV.
Right, but that's a pretty small market. But for watching it on your computer or on your phone, they could stream it through iTunes, and then they're going to have to figure out an app for the TVs.
Right. They let me see. Let me just go down to this part. The programming is all part of Apple's big foray into Hollywood. The company is reportedly spending $1 billion a year on its new content. And then they kind of talked about approaching Sony executives to help them, whatever. So let's talk about this for a second, and then we'll talk about the content of the streaming service, and then we'll talk about all the other stuff, and then we can have like the big every big company is now doing this. This is the next frontier in television. Now, I personally think there's going to be some retraction of the services at some point in time.
Yes.
We already had
that classic.
Yeah, the classic movie one, which I can't remember what it was called, that already retracted.
Folded. Yeah.
Folded. And that one made sense why it folded, because there was not new content, and they didn't rotate their library and stuff. And but does this make sense for Apple? Amazon it does, but
I think it makes sense for Apple because they, so let's start at the beginning. Apple was a computer company, right? Not, I know the 20-somethings out there, the one of you that are watching, are like, Apple's a phone. No, Apple started out as a computer company, and
they were really the first ones to do a personal computer. At a home computer.
And then, as kind of that industry started to get flooded, and it was, you could go buy a monitor and a box and build your own, and the smartphone kind of started taking off. They moved into the smartphone industry, and then they had the
iPad, iPads.
No, the Shuffle.
What the hell were they called? the mobile device, like platforms.
Yeah,
where they really moved into
to stream music and phones and all that. Well, you can only support a new $500, $1,000 phone every 9 months for so long before the audience is like, I'm not standing in line for 3 days to get a new phone every 9 months.
Android leans into that when they're doing their commercials.
Yeah, they do. Or Android. Yeah. So, I mean, while Apple is still, iPhones are still out there, the smartphone industry is really not where it is, right?
There hasn't been a new breakthrough with all that in a while.
Right. So, I mean, you have a better camera. Well, I have a camera. You can stream
more memory
and stuff, storage, whatever, but nothing touchscreen, computer access, whatever. All that stuff has already happened. So I think they might be a little late. However, after watching this, I don't know what you call it, trailer pitch. I don't know what we watched.
So the first one, was like a pitch.
Yeah.
And then the second one was here's the shows that are going to be available in the fall.
We're doing. Yeah. So, I mean, after watching the first one, I mean, I guess you're going to get into this, but there are some big names that are getting in on this. So then, I mean, I was already watching it going, damn it.
Right, right.
I don't need another one.
My thing is here, back to the whole conversation we were talking about earlier about not being an Apple house. I don't feel the draw to go get the newest and coolest thing from Apple. I just don't. I never felt that need technology wise to go do that. So when they announced this morning, I was like, really, another streaming service? We're gonna do something innovative, and we're gonna do this, and blah blah blah. It's like, shut up. Like, I don't care about what, like you're not doing anything different in the streaming service that isn't already been done by Netflix and Amazon Prime.
Right.
Or I'll throw it out there, the DC universe.
Right. But it is new content, and it is, well, so I'm gonna do this. So they had Steven Spielberg, Kamal Nanjiani, I think I didn't butcher that, J.J. Abrams, M. Night Shyamalan, Damien Chazelle. I mean, they've got, so as far as directors go, Ron Howard.
Right.
They've got big names out there, and then they've got a bunch of actors and actresses who are also throwing their name out there.
And Oprah's involved, so you got to get the Oprah umbrella thing.
So there's definitely some shows that I might be interested in. Is it enough? We don't get the CBS All Access, even though we would like to watch Discovery. And I think that they came out with another one too that we were like, oh, that one looks good. Yeah. But it's just, here's the problem. People are already getting to the point where they're like, I do not have enough time. Yes, right. Having Prime sounds great in theory because there's all this stuff that I really want to watch, but people are running out of the time to actually watch those, and so then you have to start weighing I'm watching one show every 6 months or one movie every 6 months on this service that I'm paying 10, 15, 20 bucks a month for, and people are going to start coming to I can't keep paying for all this stuff. Right.
We actually talked about getting rid of Amazon Prime, and then a new season of Grand Tour came out, and then Good Omens is coming, and then it was like, and then this is like, there's all this really good content that's coming out. Some of the shows that they're putting out on this Apple TV Plus thing is there's 2 docuseries from Oprah, so they're going to be pulling at your heartstrings and doing stuff. There's a show called C that is a post-apocalyptic movie show with Jason Momoa. We're getting the morning show that is Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, and Steve Carell about morning TV kind of thing. So those 3 for sure. And then there was the trailer that showed all the content that they like the preview.
Yeah,
content.
there was like a moon, some kind of moon, like red moon.
Something like that.
There almost looked like there was gonna be maybe a Black Mirror-esque type of show because they had a lot of.
Yeah, there was. What are they calling that one? Happy Stories.
Yeah, there was
something like that. Yeah,
the moon one, and then the World War II airplane guy, and then
I think that's part of the stories. The Twilight Zone
girl flying, the really kind of fairy tale-esque. So I thought maybe they were doing something Twilight Zone, Black Mirror kind of individual little stories.
I like I was saying earlier, I was like, I'm out. I don't care, whatever. And then we watched this Ron Howard, Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams thing about talking about the film, the
process of making
films and TV and whatever. And I like, that's, you just pulling me in. Okay, all right. All these people that I like, and they're talking about the whole process. And then we watch the one with this content, and really the only show on there right now is C for me.
Yeah.
But
we don't have a whole lot of information at this point.
Right. There's no major information on like price and what the new content is going to be. They did talk, however, about the channels that they're getting. So you get
Epics,
Up for This Family, Epics,
CBS All Access,
Euros Now, Comedy Central Now, You get Cinemax, HBO, Showtime, Stars, Nickelodeon, BritBox, MTV Hits, the History Channel Vault, and then a bunch of other ones that are in there. So you're not just getting new content from Apple, but you're getting all of this other content from these other places, these other
So it's
platforms.
almost like View from PlayStation. But so View is kind of a hybrid between cable and its own
streaming service kind of thing.
Because they've got a PlayStation, or they've got a Sony channel and a PlayStation channel, and then you can also order add-on packs for HBO and Showtime and stuff.
Right.
So it's a cross between Netflix or Amazon Prime and View, or kind of Hulu, but not.
Because you're getting all this other stuff that's in the whole process, and I mean, that also is a draw for me, is knowing that we're getting other stuff than just getting. Here's just like Netflix. I love Netflix, and I love a lot of the original stuff that they're doing on there, and they're definitely leaning that way. I like, though, that this will give us History Channel and HBO and like that kind of stuff, and not just Netflix's thing of here. It's only a Netflix original,
right?
Kind of thing.
It's almost like we could cancel because we pay for the Uber Premium View pack because we get a bunch of channels that we would watch, including HBO and Showtime.
Right.
We get Stars for free through our internet provider. Strange.
Right.
So, we could almost cancel that. We're getting CBS All Access, which we don't get now because we don't want to pay for another. And then the History Channel Vault and the BritBox. I know that they were moving like Doctor Who and stuff off to BritBox.
Yeah.
So,
So there's some legitimacy to all of this. They also announced, it's a separate subscription added on to this, but it's called Apple News Plus. It is an overhaul of their entire app system itself. But it's going to be 300 magazine subscriptions, and all the news that you get now just completely rehauled, redone and everything. So that's part of this whole process too. It's an add-on feature like our sports package kind of thing.
Okay, but they're e-zines, not right? You're not getting e-zines, 300 magazines mailed to your house every month?
They're also doing an Apple credit card in conjunction with Goldman Sachs, which I'm pretty sure went under.
No, we bailed them out, remember?
It is, and it's directly. It's Apple Card will be available on the iOS devices in the Wallet app. It is a reward system. It adds 2% to any Apple Pay purchase. I want to say produce, and I know it's not right. Amount directly back to the Apple Wallet for cash. Deposits are then made daily, and the reward goes up to 3% for purchases of Apple products, and down 1% for those for made with the physical card. So, let's say you have iTunes and you buy an album on iTunes.
Right.
They'll give you 3% cash back on your Apple account.
Right.
To go buy more stuff via, so it's the first one's free.
Yeah, see, that seems, now I know there's a lot of people out there that are really dedicated to their cards, I guess. And we have one that we get rewards for Caesars,
right?
Because we spend a lot of time in Vegas, so it actually is worth it for us. But other than, our other credit cards are cash back, so that it doesn't matter where you spend. Right. It's almost like 3% if I buy an album a year on iTunes,
right?
Or if I guess. If you're
ordering, let's say you're ordering, instead of ordering your movie on Amazon Prime or Vudu, you get it through Apple.
You'd have to be one of those people that I think spends a lot of money on
spends a
Apple
lot of money make
to
well,
make
right.
it worth it.
If you have an Apple phone and you have Apple TV and you have this Apple TV Plus and then you download movies and music and stuff like that all through your Apple device, that makes sense. We are physical media people, and so I don't see where this would actually even work for us. I'm not saying that it wouldn't. I just the way we do things aren't really that makes any sense for us. And then they also added at the end that they are going to do a Apple Arcade, where you are offered new ad-free subscription gaming services for your Apple Arcade, which lets users access more than 100 games exclusive or new to Apple. And all of this is going to be part of one big, like, Apple app thing. So you have if you get the Apple TV, it's this, and then you add the news, and then you add the arcade, and oh, by the way, you can pay for all of it with your card.
Right.
So Apple is doing what, for me, from an outside perspective, looks like a company-wide reorganization of what their product is.
Right. And I mean, that's been the concern regarding Apple pretty much since Steve Jobs died, because, you know, they were able to ride that for another year or two.
Yeah.
You know, because he had stuff in development or whatever. But then when this new guy, and I don't remember what his name is, but
Tim Cook is the CEO. That did the presentation today. So.
Yeah, when he came in, there started to be a lot of buzz about Apple, you know, maybe going under. You know, they had nothing new to offer other than the next iPhone. That was it.
iPhone XS, iPhone XSA.
And the Apple TVs haven't really taken off that I'm aware of. I mean, I don't
know anybody who has one.
I don't know anybody that has one. I don't see them anywhere. I don't see them used, you know, like in our son works for a pawn shop. I don't see them there. So it seems like maybe they were kind of internalizing working on all this stuff, because we saw some previews. Some of this stuff is made. It's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So they have completed stuff. It just feels, I'm not, desperate's not the right word, because you have to stay innovative in this marketplace.
Right.
And if you're going...
Well, and they were just lost, right? Steve Jobs died and they were lost, and they had to figure out where they...
Which is partly Steve's fault. Which is partly Steve's fault. And it's also partly the Apple board's fault of allowing one person to be the only voice. It worked great until Apple got big, and then they asked them to leave, and then they asked him to come back. And now he has all the power, and then when he's gone, you're kind of rudderless at that point in time in the ocean of consumerism.
Yeah.
And so the idea that they're taking a huge swing here.
Yeah. Yep.
With, unlike the swing that Disney is making. Disney makes this giant swing with their streaming service. Oh, by the way, they also bought Fox.
Right.
But the thing with Disney is that they have the parks, and they have the movies, and they have Star Wars, and they have Marvel. They have other things that are going to bring revenue in, and that are set up and ready to go. So when they take this big, huge swing with Disney Plus, even if it loses money the first few years or whatever, give them a time to adjust. The company as a whole isn't going to lose any money. Apple, however, other than the iPhone and the iPad,
but they've been existing on that for a little while now.
Right. So they have to take a huge swing. And if they take this huge swing and it works out okay, do they panic and say we have to do something else? Or do we would we pull back how much money we're putting in it? If we're going to put less money in it, that means we're not going to have JJ and Shyamalan.
I think it'll do okay, at least for a while. I think it'll do okay. I think there's enough meat there. It's not, CBS All Access. I was like, how can they come up with enough content to actually make it worth spending? I mean, I know it's only like $5.99 a month or something, but there's got to be enough meat there for people to go, oh, this is another thing I need.
Right.
I've got all this other stuff, but I need to pay for this one too. And I think that they've got enough meat to make it.
At least initially, there's going to be everybody wants to have it because they want to see.
Well, if they got HBO and Stars and Showtime,
that's a huge draw.
Yeah.
But the big thing for me is the draw of the people who are involved. If I know Spielberg's working on a TV show with J.J. Abrams, guess what? I really want to see that.
Yeah.
If Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon are working on a show together with Steve Carell, okay, in a perfect place in the early 2000s, if you said there was a TV show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, it would get 100 million views on a regular TV.
Yep.
And so you have that pull. Oh, by the way, Steve Carell is a freaking badass actor.
Yeah.
And so you add him, so you have that in there. Momoa is probably one of the hottest people on the entire planet with a TV show about post-apocalyptic stuff, which isn't really anything out there like that right now.
Right now, no.
Other than Walking Dead, and
it's wrapping up,
and it's doing whatever it's doing. Apparently, it's good this season, but so there's stuff there. The thing with the CBS access, CBS All Access, wording hard, is that they did a slow rollout. They said, here's 1 or 2 shows.
Yeah.
And our archive of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, 8 months down the line, we added another show. And then 8 months later, we added another show. And that kind of thing. This is, here's 20 new shows. Oh, by the way, here's 40 stations and stuff.
Like I said, they kind of internalized for 3 or 4 years, and we'll just keep pumping out new iPhones and new iPads and stuff and let that, bring in money while we work on it, because obviously this didn't happen overnight. I'm wondering if, speaking of kind of the iTunes thing, if you would be able to purchase entire seasons of their shows, their proprietary shows just through iTunes. That would make that would make a lot of sense. You pay $24 or whatever, and you can download the whole season of C and not have to pay for their service, and it's extra income
for them and stuff. Yeah.
There you go, Apple. I'm giving you
ideas. I guess the question is right now we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Prime. I don't really count Vue because it's kind of a cable
view. But we have Showtime, Stars, and HBO.
Right. So, but let's Netflix, Prime, Hulu. We're getting Disney Plus. I guess I don't know. I until I guess we see something. I don't know if this is going to be something that we're gonna.
Well, we're not typically buy the first shiny thing.
That's true. We've never been like, we always wait for the second generation of a new car to come out.
Yeah.
And
never buy the first year.
The third generation of a computer or whatever.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
We're slowly working on maybe having a more remote voice activated home. I'm working on
we're getting on it.
Do you want Skynet? Because this is how you get Skynet.
Have you not seen a sci-fi movie ever? I can make multiple references of how this goes bad for everyone who's organic. But yeah, it feels like a big swing. Makes sense in the grand scheme of things once you sit down and kind of tear apart what they were doing.
Yeah.
And really, in the grand scheme of things, for me, I know this is going to sound very counterintuitive from what we were saying earlier, but the more content means there's more better stuff out there. And
it pushes everybody
to make better content.
Yeah.
And if there's good, and so I'd rather have the problem of there's too much good stuff out there to keep track of than sitting around and waiting for the fall when Cheers came on.
Right.
Right.
And I can argue that Movie Pass and the AMC A Plus, A List, whatever, and even Marvel have pushed movies to be better. I mean, I think in the last, now maybe it's just because we go see a lot more movies than we used to, but I think in the last couple of years we've seen some really good smaller movies that probably would never
have gotten made, or would not have gotten as much attention.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't even.
Yeah.
Well, one leads to another, right? If it doesn't get
Right.
any attention, it's not making money, so they're not gonna
Take
make
risks
them.
on stuff like
But
that,
when
yeah.
they've got people with Movie Pass and the A-list and that kind of stuff, more people are going to see them. That's good. And then Marvel, Disney, whatever, they're pushing the big names to put out better movies. Like DC, like flopped on its back because just tried to pump some crap out, and everybody's like, I've seen some really good superhero movies, you need to step it up. So yeah, I think that competition and more availability can potentially be a good thing.
And it gives more actors and more directors jobs, but it also gives, like, we have a ton of friends who work in the industry as key grips and sound guys and
catering
and prop making and set design, and so giving them a platform too. The more stuff that's out there, there's more opportunity for those people to fulfill their dreams of working in the industry where they make TV shows and stuff like that. And so it's very interesting. I'm super excited what the future holds, and we'll wait with bated breath to see what this is going to be like when Apple TV Plus comes out. So that's our show this week. Let us know what you thought of Apple TV Plus and all the other stuff we talked about this week, and Supernatural coming to an end. Mercifully. Let us know what you think. Like this video. Leave us a comment on all the stuff we talked about this week. I think I've said that 3 times now. So, Candyman.
No!
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Help us out on Patreon. We're working towards a goal there. And like we said, we're just going to be hit and miss on what we do here in the next few weeks, months, a couple months and a half or whatever.
We do have some Patreon stuff we need to
We're
get.
going to try to get to it this week. And
there, yep.
And but it's, like I said, it's going to be what we could do. So let us know, and the social media stuff down here too. I'll remember all of it. Good night, cult members.